Good afternoon, everyone. Good evening, everyone. In today's
Good evening, sir.
in today's class, we will discuss law relating to FIR, and our discussion will continue in tomorrow's class as well, and maybe day after tomorrow. After completing our discussion on law relating to FIR, wherein I'll ask you to thoroughly read 154 as well. So and 155, both sections we will complete of CRPC. We will discuss case laws given in your study material. There are six laws, five case laws given in your study material, and we will discuss all of them in detail. So we will complete this topic of initiation of criminal case, including law relating to FIR, this week. So keep track of the topics because I'll try to teach you in continuation. After FIR, I will teach investigation, then cognizance, then trial, then post-trial, judgment and appeal. To keep track of that. And second point, please ask everyone in section I to at least join the classroom. If that is their choice, that is the freedom of a person who wants to attend the class or not. But please ask everyone to join the classroom so that when you're at the time of exam, you may access the reading material of CRPC easily. So please ask your friends to join the classroom. Like that is not a compulsion that if you join the class, you have to attend the classes. So first, but you should join. Technically, you should join the classroom. So we will start our discussion with meaning of FIR and then essential ingredients of FIR. And hopefully we will also be able to complete the number of copies of FIR that should be prepared by the officer in charge of the police station after registration of the FIR. So let's start our discussion for today's class. So if I ask you a question, do you think that the word or expression, the expression first information report has been used in any of the provisions of CRPC? Any guesses? Exact expression.
No, sir.
So anyone else? Like any? And why is it so that this expression is not used in CRPC? The entire expression. They should have written it that first information report shall be lodged, blah, 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 blah. In these situations, to this person, this is the procedure to lodge the information. So basically, law relating to FIR is provided under section 154 of CR. Section 157 subsection 1 is also relevant to a certain extent, but in certain situations wherein police officer so motu takes cognizance. Otherwise, 157 is not relevant when it comes to studying law relating to FIR. The relevant provision is section 154. The importance of section 154 is such that it is considered to be the gateway to CRPC. If you want to enter CRPC, if you consider CRPC as a citadel, then this is gateway to CRPC. This section is gateway to CRPC. Moreover, 154 is also a provision with which even a layman is acquainted with. Even when he or she does not know much about the section, but he knows about the concept, first information report. So if someone knows about the concept, then you can fill up the blanks by telling that person that the concept which you are talking about is contained under section 154 of CRPC. However, the expression first information report has not been used under 154. Rather, the word which you will find which is similar to or exactly similar to or which connotes the same thing as first information report is information. The word which has been used is information. This, in one of my lectures, I have made clear that wherever in CRPC you find this word information to the police. Information must be qualified by the expression to the police. Then it means you are talking about FIR. If it is like information to the magistrate, then that is not an FIR. If you find that information to, somewhere written information to the police, or policeman is receiving information from XYZ person, so that means that their CRPC is talking about FIR. Why then? Why it has been prefixed with the word first? Information has been prefixed with the word first. The reason being that any information that is received first in point of time, any information that is received first in point of time is popularly known as first information report. वैसे तो वो information ही है, information disclosing a cognizable offense. That is its exact legal meaning, for example, as per the provisions of CRPC. But if you look at that, this information is the first information disclosing a particular cognizable offense, then we qualify this word information with the word first, and then we end up writing the entire expression first information report. When a crime is reported by way of giving information to the police for the first time, then it is popularly known as first information report. So FIR can be defined as, or the meaning of FIR could be that FIR is a report giving information of commission of cognizable offense or crime which may be made by the victim or by any other person knowing about the commission of such an offense to the police officer in charge of the police station. So this can also be included in this definition. You can write it that to whom? To the police officer in charge of the police station, to the officer in charge of the police station. In charge of police station. This is the meaning of FIR. So, as far as this meaning is concerned, I don't think you will find it difficult to explain FIR or meaning of FIR in these words. That it is a report giving information, or you may skip the word report. You may simply say that it is an information of commission of cognizable crime which may be made by the victim or any other person knowing about the commission of the crime to the police officer in charge of the police station, to the officer in charge of the police station. Now, with the registration of FIR, generally, it is general rule, there are exceptions to it, that with the registration of FIR, officer in charge of a police station commences investigation with respect to the crime. He is duty bound to do that. He or she, whoever is the official in charge of police station, he or she is duty bound to commence the investigation after the registration of the FIR. However, I have told you that FIR is not a condition precedent to start an investigation. Investigation can start before registration of FIR, but the important point to note here is that if an FIR has been registered, then it becomes the duty of the police officer in charge of the police station to initiate the investigation. He cannot do anything else. He cannot do otherwise. Even when he wants to foreclose the investigation, we have discussed that he has to communicate with the help of a report the reasons for foreclosing the investigation to the Ilaka magistrate. He cannot foreclose it. So this is the main relevance of FIR. If you ask me simply कि भैया FIR से ऐसा क्या होगा कि मैं लॉन्च कराऊं इसको, कि भाई पुलिस की जिम्मेदारी बन जाएगी कि वह आपके केस का इन्वेस्टिगेशन करेगी, वो अदरवाइज कुछ नहीं कर सकती है, इन्वेस्टिगेशन पुलिस को करना ही पड़ेगा. If it wants to foreclose the investigation, तब भी there are certain formalities. It has to communicate to the informant, send a report to the magistrate with reasons, but investigation करना पड़ेगा. वो बात अलग है कि बाद में conclusion draw आप ये कर रहे हो, I am foreclosing the investigation. Now, if you ask one more question that what are the objectives behind registration of FIR? So in Lalita Kumari case, Supreme Court held that FIR has twin objectives. First is that it set into motion the criminal process and make the criminal process or initiation of criminal process well documented right from its initiation. Secondly, earliest information received in relation to commission of cognizable offense. If it is recorded, then there cannot be any kind of tampering or embellishment later on the part of investigation agencies. There could be other objectives as well of lodging an information. It could be strengthening the rule of law, it could be prevention of crime, it could be keeping the evidences of a crime intact and collecting them. So there could be other objectives as well. But these are by and large, when you lodge the information, these two objectives are satisfied or fulfilled. Now coming to the second important point, we discussed meaning of FIR, meaning and objective of FIR. Now we will discuss essential ingredients of FIR. These essential ingredients of FIR, which you could see on this PPT, are taken from section 154. So what we will do, we will read these, discuss these ingredients, then we will go to CRPC and read 154 word by word. And there I give you some time, 2-3 minutes ka time. You can read that. If you find any problem in any word or expression, you may ask me. So the first ingredient of FIR, as per the provision of section 154 of CRPC, that there must be information. There must be information. Now, second ingredient is that this information must be related to a cognizable offense. And you may underline this word, cognizable offense. So when you say FIR, then you have to explain it by saying that FIR is an information relating to commission of a cognizable offense. Or you may say that FIR is an information disclosing the commission of a cognizable offense. A third ingredient is that this information must be made to the officer in charge of a police station. Officer in charge of a police station. However, in practical circumstances, you may find it otherwise, but let's stick to CRPC for a while. Let's stick to CRPC for a while. What you have witnessed or what you have seen, what you have heard by way of hearsay, that may slightly differ, but we will stick to the words of CRPC, that this information disclosing cognizable offense must be given to the officer in charge of the police station, whom we popularly known as station house officer, SHO, station house officer or SHO. So fourth ingredient is that this information may either be an oral information or a written information. But if it is an oral information, then this information should be reduced in writing. This information, CRPC has used the word shall. If the police officer in charge of a police station receives an oral information disclosing the commission of cognizable offense, then he shall, it is his duty to reduce that oral information in writing, or he may direct someone subordinate to him to reduce that information in writing. Once that oral information has been reduced in writing, then the same shall be read over to the informant. आप उसे पढ़ के सुनाओगे वो, और अगर उसको लगता है कि भाई कुछ उसको एक्स्ट्रा ऐड कराना है या कुछ रिमूव कराना है, then he can communicate. And this is as per CRPC, not as per कि some of you would jump into कि नहीं जी मैंने तो ऐसा ऐसा सुना है, मेरे यहाँ तो ऐसा देखा है मैंने, या जिस थाने में मैं गया था या मैंने जो सुना है वो तो अलग था, इस बारे में कुछ ऐसा नहीं था जो CRPC में लिखा हुआ है. ठीक है. So we will keep our voices closed as far as those discussions are concerned which are beyond CRPC words. So but this is how it should be done if it is an oral information. Now once that information, if it is in oral form, has been reduced into writing, or if it is a written information, if it is then there is no need to reduce it in writing in that manner in which it should be done in case of oral information. It shall be signed by the informant, whoever is approaching the police station for lodging the FIR, he must sign it. So signature of informant on the FIR is also an essential ingredient of FIR. And once all these things have been done, then the substance of the information, the crux of the information shall be written down in the general diary. Now here I'll tell you that there are two kinds of diaries. For example, there are three kinds of diaries mainly which we talk about in CRPC. But for 154, only two kind are relevant. Third kind of diary, which is known as case diary, that is maintained by investigation officer of a particular case, IO. That we will talk about when we will discuss investigation. But here, in case of FIR, two kinds of diaries would come into picture. एक तो FIR बुक होती है जिसमें वो इन्फॉर्मेशन जो लिखते हो आप, पूरी FIR लिखते हो आप. अगर किसी ने रिटर्न फॉर्म में दी है तो एज इट इज उसको कॉपी कर देते हो FIR बुक में. दैट इज one diary, FIR book or FIR diary you can call it. Another is general diary. General diary is a book maintained in each police station जिसमें पुलिस को मिलने वाली, भले वो नॉन कॉग्निजेबल ऑफेंस की जानकारी हो या कॉग्निजेबल ऑफेंस की जानकारी हो या फिर कोई और activities which is happening in the police station, they are mentioned in that general diary. कोई कंप्लेंट रिसीव हुई हो आपको XYZ तरीके की relating to a non-cognizable offense, उसको भी आप उसमें नोट डाउन कर सकते हो in the general diary. So basically general diary is kind of a register maintained by the police in every police station to document each and every activity that is taking place in the police station with reference to the crimes. So that is done. So what the police officer in charge would do, that he will also enter the substance of the FIR. एक तो पूरी FIR he registered in the FIR book, given it a number. Then the crux of summary of that FIR would be mentioned in the general diary in the format prescribed by state government. हर एक state government का इस बारे में format अलग अलग है. That I will talk more about when I will discuss with you how many number of copies should be prepared of FIR. Now these are the 6 ingredients. Now along with that, recently, not recently, like in 2013, and some changes were brought in 2018, there is a special procedure for registration of information relating to certain offenses which are in the nature of sexual offenses against women. So if the informant is victim of a sexual offense like acid attack or rape or any other thing, then such information shall be recorded by a women police officer or any women officer. This procedure is slightly different from the general procedure provided under 154. It is given under proviso to 154 subsection 1. Now, in case the victim is because of the injury suffered during that crime committed against her, if the victim is temporarily or permanently mentally or physically disabled, then the information shall be recorded by the police officer at the residence of the person, or at any convenient place of such person's choice. Suppose that victim is admitted in the hospital, so that information may be recorded in the hospital also, in the presence of an interpreter. Especially this is not much relevant. Next is, this recording shall also be videographed. This recording which you are doing by going to the place or convenient place as per the victim situation, that information should also be videographed. So this is a special procedure to register FIR in certain offenses, mainly offenses against women relating to acid attack, rape, and other serious offenses of sexual nature against women. So this is a special procedure. You can keep this procedure in your mind as a kind of a special procedure for registration of FIR. There is a general procedure and there is a special procedure for registration of FIR in certain cases. Now I'll ask you to read 154. So please give 2 minutes ka time to 154. And first read 154 1 and 2. 3 I'll tell you what 3 talks about. 153 I'll tell you. 154 subsection 3 I'll discuss with you very briefly. Please read 1 and 2, subsection 1 and 2, along with proviso also. And don't be confused with numbers. It's just related to these numbers. Section numbers are related to sexual offenses against women or offenses against women per se. are you thorough with one subsection 1? Any problem with subsection 1 you may ask, then we will move ahead.
Sir, I have one question from the provisor.
Yes, go ahead.
Sir, who is the interpreter or special educator in this case?
Any person who has the capacity to read the signs if victim is seriously injured, and maybe any person who is trained to understand the communication that is made by disabled people or people who are permanently or temporarily physically or mentally disabled. In that sense it has been used. ठीक है जी?
Okay sir.
हाँ, क्योंकि मुझे और आपको अगर कोई for example if a victim has gone unconscious and once that victim comes back in consciousness, he or that victim realizes or doctors realizes that she is unable to communicate as we could communicate by way of words of speech, and even if she is able to speak, she is unable to communicate completely because she has mentally suffered some loss. There is a serious mental injury as well along with physical injury, or physical injury has also resulted into mental imbalances of the victim. Then in that case you need a special person around you to communicate to you that what the victim intends to say. Okay?
Sir, who provides this special person?
That is the duty of the police officer, that whenever that police officer goes to that place to record that information, then it is the duty of the police officer to take a special person who is trained in understanding such kind of communication, keeping in mind the circumstances. That is the duty of the police officer to arrange such experts.
But sir, if the victim is on the verge of dying, then
you can draw many conjectures about it, what will happen in next situation, but why situation. But I am trying to answer it to you a standard situation. वो होती है ना, साइंस में कहते हैं कि भाई हम स्टैंडर्ड इक्वेशन के बारे में डिस्कस करेंगे जहाँ पे एक स्टैंडर्ड टेम्परेचर होगा, स्टैंडर्ड ह्यूमिडिटी होगी, बाकी जो आप सिचुएशन कह रहे हो तो वहां पे ये रिक्वायरमेंट कुछ सेटिस्फाई नहीं भी हो पाएगी इन सर्टेन सिचुएशन. ठीक है जी?
ओके सर.
एंड यू योरसेल्फ कुड रियलाइज कि भाई देश के अलग अलग प्लेसेस में बड़ा मुश्किल होगा ऐसे लोगों की अवेलेबिलिटी. तो लिखना आसान होता है किसी भी लॉ को, बट व्हेन इट कम्स टू एग्जीक्यूशन यू रियलाइज दैट देयर आर सर्टेन डिफिकल्टीज दैट शुड हैव बीन टेकन केयर ऑफ व्हाइल राइटिंग द लॉ. Anyone else who wants to ask? Be clear with each word of the provisions that we are discussing.
So why the judicial magistrate is required to go to the victim's place to videograph it, and why not any of the police officer?
Look. Now here 164 would come into picture. So क्या हुआ कि in order to give more protection to victims of sexual offenses, this amendment have introduced a new idea, and that idea is that look, in case you are recording a first information report given by a victim of sexual offense or victim of acid attack, then you should try to record that information under 164 as well. Under 164 as well, a kind of a statement from the side of the victim. Because if it is not recorded by the magistrate, then it cannot be used as a substantive piece of evidence during the trial. So you are making the case from the side of prosecution super strong right from the outset. क्योंकि सीआरपीसी ये कहता है कि अगर 161 में 161 में पुलिस ऑफिसर विक्टिम का बयान दर्ज कर लेता है तो वो बयान को आप कैनॉट यूज इट एज एविडेंस ड्यूरिंग द ट्रायल. उस बयान को, उसकी सब्सटेंटिव एविडेंस की वैल्यू नहीं है ज्यादा. और यहाँ पे इसी वजह से दे हैव प्रोवाइडेड अ स्पेशल क्लॉज. तो भाई ऐसा करते हैं, शुरू से ही केस को स्ट्रॉन्ग बना के चलते हैं. लेट द विक्टिम्स स्टेटमेंट बी रिकॉर्डेड बाय द मैजिस्ट्रेट, and there is a provision regarding it, complete provision under 164 subsection 5 capital A. अब देखो इसका कॉन्सिक्वेंस क्या होगा, पता नहीं आपने पढ़ा है क्या रेप लॉज में. if I ask you this question, whether the testimony of the prosecutrix is sufficient to secure conviction in a rape trial, what will be your answer?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir, it would be sufficient.
Yes, sir.
Where is it leading? Where this statement recorded by magistrate is leading? To that situation. Are you getting it?
Yes, sir.
So that is why it has been introduced. So you have to keep in mind that, look, as per rape laws jurisprudence, the statement of the prosecutrix is sufficient to secure the conviction in a rape trial. So what you are doing while at the time of recording information, you are securing that statement at the outset, which prosecution is going to use during the trial. And next, what the prosecution now needs to do, it just needs to keep intact the entire story by providing the corroborating evidences around statement of the prosecutrix victim. Okay? और कुछ पूछना है भाई टेक्स्ट से, टेक्स्ट बिल्कुल जो यहाँ पे लिखा हुआ है कि सर ये वर्ड समझ नहीं आया, ये एक्सप्रेशन समझ नहीं आया, ये पता नहीं क्यों लिखा हुआ है. ठीक है, नाउ पुट ए चेक ऑन इट. We are done with it. 154.1. Now coming to 154.2. What it is saying? A copy of the information as recorded under subsection 1 shall be given forthwith, free of cost to the informant. Any problem in this? Any problem in this? Because we will discuss now in detail number of copies of FIR. So if you have no problem in it, then now we will move on to the next slide, that is number of copies of FIR. Now, as far as law relating to number of copies of FIR is concerned, 154 does not give you a clue. Does 154 talk about number of copies? No, it does not. It does not talk about number of copies. However, when we read CRPC, we have a provision under 157 that once an FIR has been registered by the police officer in charge of the police station, he is under an obligation, legal obligation, as per provisions of 157, to send the copy of the FIR to the Ilaka magistrate, to the magistrate who has the jurisdiction over that police station. Magistrates की jurisdiction police stations के ऊपर होती है, ठीक है जी, जुडिशियल मैजिस्ट्रेट की. और जो एग्जीक्यूटिव मैजिस्ट्रेट की jurisdiction होती है उसकी एरिया के ऊपर होती है. Except police station, not except, but in addition to police station, executive magistrate has jurisdiction outside police station वाले areas as well. But वो story अलग है खैर. So number of copies के बारे में there is no discussion under 154, but 157 is saying that look, the moment police officer in charge of the police station registers an FIR, he has to send a copy to the magistrate. तो आपके दिमाग में क्या सवाल आएगा कि भाई एक कॉपी आपने किसको दे दी है? बताओ भाई, आंसर दिया करो, ऐसे फिर मुझे भी मजा नहीं आता, मुझे भी लगता है कि मैं इंफॉर्मेंट को देगा अंडर 154(2). एक कॉपी चली गई मैजिस्ट्रेट को और एक कॉपी वो रखेगा अपनी FIR बुक में, ठीक है जी. नाउ वी विल डिस्कस इट, ठीक है. And I am discussing it with reference to Uttar Pradesh, as CRPC is implemented in Uttar Pradesh. You may read this number of copies wala topic as per your state, as is the situation in your state. So I am discussing it with reference to Uttar Pradesh, CRPC plus what happens in Uttar Pradesh. So in UP, according to para regulation number 97, or some people call it para 97 of Uttar Pradesh police regulation, the moment an FIR is registered, 3 copies of that FIR shall be prepared. And when I say 3 copies, kind of it includes an original copy as well. So CRPC does not talk about number of copies. Rather, number 97 of UP police regulation talks about number of copies of FIR. First copy, which is the original copy, shall be sent to the magistrate according to section 157. Duty है भाई, आप बच नहीं सकते उससे। कभी कभी ऐसा होता है, इट इज सेंट टू द मैजिस्ट्रेट वाया एसपी, वाया सुपरिटेंडेंट ऑफ पुलिस। अब आपके हिसाब से ऐसा किन केसेस में होगा जहां पे कॉपी एसपी के थ्रू जाएगी मैजिस्ट्रेट को?
यहाँ पे कंप्लेन एसपी को होगी सर 154।
नहीं 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 यार, वो कंप्लेंट एसपी को
पुलिस
होगी,
अगर काम नहीं
154
किया-
एफआईआर ही होगी। हाँ
सर,
बताओ।
अगर पुलिस काम नहीं किया तब लोग जाते हैं डायरेक्ट
एफआईआर हो गई है,
FIR
पुलिस ने
रजिस्टर।
काम नहीं किया, वो तो स्टेज नहीं आती है, एफआईआर हो गई है। ऐसा क्यों नियम है, कोई प्रोविजन है कि एसपी के थ्रू कॉपी जाएगी मैजिस्ट्रेट को?
सर ज्यादा हीनियस क्राइम में सर।
हाँ, ये पकड़ लो, ये पकड़ लो। इफ द क्राइम इज ऑफ वेरी सीरियस नेचर, सो यू हैव टू कीप इन लूप एसएसपी एज वेल, बिकॉज ही इज द पुलिस हेड ऑफ द डिस्ट्रिक्ट। ठीक है जी, यू हैव टू कीप इन लूप एसएसपी एज वेल। कम से कम उसको पता तो चले कि मेरे अंडर में अगर 40 थाने आते हैं, 50 थाने आते, पुलिस स्टेशन हैं, तो किस किस पुलिस स्टेशन में आज हीनियस ऑफेंसेस कितने हुए, तो तब आपको एसपी को भी लूप में रखना है। तो इसके लिए 150 also becomes 158 also becomes relevant of CRPC, और you have to read that 158 with police regulation। वहां पे आपको लिस्ट मिलेगी that if following offenses से related FIR has been registered, then the copy must go via SP to the magistrate, otherwise you can send the copy directly to the magistrate। So first copy चली गई magistrate को, we know the provision as well, and that is the original copy। एक copy चली गई informant को free of cost, and this is 154(2). This is 154(2). मैं तो लिखना ही भूल गया इसको यहाँ पे, प्लीज राइट इट इन योर नोट्स जो आप वहां से डाउनलोड करोगे। सेक्शन 154(2) ये वहां पे लिखा है। एंड थर्ड कॉपी वुड रिमेन इन अ बुक विच इज पॉपुलरली नोन एज FIR बुक इन द स्टेशन। एक कॉपी वहां पे रह जाएगी, ठीक है जी। And substance of the information will be noted down in general diary। पूरी FIR कहाँ मिलेगी? FIR बुक में, और substance of the information will be noted down in general diary। एक GD एंट्री हो जाएगी related to that particular FIR। Now, what is the utility of that FIR book? Each FIR has a unique number, उसी से ही आप आइडेंटिफाई करते हो। सपोज एक पोर्टल है, अभी आई एम फॉरगेटिंग द नेम ऑफ दैट पोर्टल, यू राइट द नंबर एंड ईयर, तो FIR की कॉपी डाउनलोड कर सकते हो आप घर बैठे बैठे। आपको किसी भी FIR की कॉपी डाउनलोड, अगर नंबर पता है आपको उसका, तो यू कैन डाउनलोड द कॉपी ऑफ द FIR घर बैठे बैठे, बिकॉज नाउ पुलिस हैज ए ड्यूटी टू अपलोड द कॉपी ऑफ द FIR। डोंट से पुलिस, जस्ट से स्टेट हैज ए ड्यूटी टू अपलोड द कॉपी ऑफ द FIR ऑनलाइन, जिससे कि कोई भी उसको एक्सेस कर सके।
पोर्टल का नाम के स्टेटस सर्च बाय FIR से।
हाँ, बट हाँ, देयर इज अ पोर्टल, ठीक है। सो यू कैन कम्युनिकेट अमंग योरसेल्फ कि भैया ये पोर्टल है, यहाँ से आपको FIR की कॉपी मिल जाती है। कहीं कहीं पोर्टल काम भी नहीं करता, उत्तर प्रदेश का तो हाफ ऑफ द टाइम इट डजंट वर्क। पता नहीं वो जो आप पोर्टल बता रहे हो वो सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट मैनेज पोर्टल बता रहे हो या स्टेट गवर्नमेंट मैनेज पोर्टल बता रहे हो, बट एक जो अगर उत्तर प्रदेश की, हाँ, होम मिनिस्ट्री का मैनेज बता रहे हो क्या आप, या किसके द्वारा?
सर हम हिसार का बता रहा हूँ सर, मैं तो हिसार।
अच्छा, आप अपने जिले का बता, अपने स्टेट का जिले का बता रहे, ठीक है।
सर होम मिनिस्ट्री वाला नेशनल गवर्नमेंट सर्विसेज पोर्टल है।
हाँ, कुछ ऐसे वाला पोर्टल है, ठीक है। सो कीप दैट थिंग इन योर माइंड। मतलब आई एम नॉट मच अवेयर अबाउट इट, बट इट इज ए प्रीटी गुड पोर्टल, ठीक है। वैसे तो ऐसा होना चाहिए कि जो हर एक जिला है उसकी पुलिस की भी एक पोर्टल होना चाहिए, एंड यू शुड हैव सफिशिएंट एक्सेस टू दैट पर्टिकुलर पोर्टल टू डाउनलोड द कॉपी ऑफ द FIR रजिस्टर्ड इन दैट पर्टिकुलर डिस्ट्रिक्ट। बट या फिर आप पुलिस की जो मेन वेबसाइट होती है, यूपी पुलिस, अगर टाइप किया तो ऑफिशियल वेबसाइट पे वैसे उसमें जाता है, लिंक है, बट मोस्ट ऑफ द टाइम इट डजंट वर्क इन यूपी पुलिस, तो इट डजंट वर्क दैट लिंक। नाउ कमिंग टू दिस, now this information I have taken from UP police regulation. So in UP, for example, if you are an advocate and you are practicing as a criminal lawyer on criminal side, then you have to be thorough with the police regulation, क्योंकि सिर्फ CRPC पढ़ के काम नहीं चलेगा। उसका जो डिटेल्ड वर्जन जो है CRPC का, how it is being implemented in Uttar Pradesh, that you will find in UP police regulation। तो 97 talks about it। कि जब भी किसी संज्ञेय अपराध की इत्तिला, संज्ञेय अपराध कॉग्निजेबल ऑफेंस की इंफॉर्मेशन थाने के बाहर साधक अधिकारी को दी जावे, ऑफिसर इंचार्ज ऑफ पुलिस स्टेशन को, संज्ञेय अपराधों की रिपोर्ट, चेक, रसीद, पुस्त, उसका नंबर भी लिखा हुआ है कौन से वाला होगा, फॉर्म कौन से वाला होगा, 3 प्रतियों में तत्काल लेखबद्ध की जाएगी। ठीक है, तो यहां से पता चलता है हमें दैट देयर शैल बी 3 कॉपीज ऑफ ईच एंड एवरी FIR रजिस्टर्ड बाय पुलिस ऑफिसर इंचार्ज ऑफ द पुलिस स्टेशन। ठीक है जी, 3 प्रतियों में तत्काल 3 कॉपी बनेगी इमीडिएट
सर
उसकी। ठीक है, हाँ जी बोलिए
सर। ये सर अलग अलग स्टेट में अलग अलग कॉपीज का प्रोविजन है क्या? जैसे आपने यूपी में 3 बताया, तो क्या सर किसी स्टेट में सर 3 से ज्यादा भी हो सकते हैं?
उसकी मुझे जानकारी नहीं है, इसीलिए मैंने आपको बोला है कि आप अपने स्टेट में जो रेगुलेशन अप्लाई होती है उसको पढ़ो। वैसे 3 ही होते हैं सब जगह। ठीक है, डिफरेंस नहीं मिलेगा आपको ज्यादा, बट आपका प्रोविजन का नंबर और जो आपका लॉ है उसका नाम बदल जाएगा। यूपी में इसकी जानकारी आपको यूपी पुलिस रेगुलेशन में मिलेगी, जो यूपी पुलिस जो कि पुलिस एक्ट के अंडर बनाई गई है 1961 के। किसी और स्टेट में शायद इसकी जानकारी कहीं और लॉ में मिलेगी इसकी। ठीक है
सर, अक्यूज्ड को नहीं मिलेगी सर?
एक्यूज को कॉपी मिलती है वैसे तो 207 के अंडर बाद में, लेकिन अभी एक डिसीजन आया है उसमें बोला है एक्यूज जब भी चाहे कॉपी ले सकता है FIR की। वो डिस्कस करेंगे हम एक्यूज को कॉपी कब मिलेगी। ठीक है, एंड इट्स अ प्रीटी गुड क्वेश्चन, क्योंकि जो CRPC था विदाउट बीइंग इंटरप्रेटेड बाय द कोर्ट्स, टेक्स्ट ऑफ द CRPC, वहां पे एक्यूज को कॉपी तब मिलती है जब कॉग्निजेंस ऑफेंस का लिया जा चुका होता है। जब तक कॉग्निजेंस की स्टेज होती है तब तक एक्यूज को लूप में नहीं लिया जाता इन टर्म्स ऑफ FIR। ठीक है जी, लेकिन अब कॉपी देखो, फिर ये सिचुएशन आती है अगर आपको FIR क्वेश करानी है तो कॉपी चाहिएगी आपको, तो कॉपी आप ले सकते हो, लेकिन वहां पे आपको एक प्रार्थना पत्र देके कॉपी लेनी पड़ेगी। लॉ सिमिलर नहीं है एक्यूज को लेके और इन्फॉर्मेंट को लेके। जैसे कि जो यहाँ पे लिखा हुआ है ना, दैट कॉपी ऑफ द FIR शैल बी फर्निश्ड फ्री ऑफ कॉस्ट एंड इट इज द ड्यूटी ऑफ द पुलिस टू फर्निश दैट कॉपी टू द इन्फॉर्मेंट। तो यहाँ पे नहीं लिखा हुआ है कि एक्यूज को भी उसकी कॉपी देनी है। वैसे प्रिंसिपल ऑफ नेचुरल जस्टिस ये कहता है कि एक्यूज को भी उसकी कॉपी इमीडिएटली मिलनी चाहिए। आजकल चेंज हो गया है थोड़ा लॉ, एक पूरा डिसीजन है इसके बारे में। ठीक है जी,
सर एक डाउट था।
हाँ बोलो
सर, अगर अक्यूज्ड को वो कॉपी मिल जाती है तो उसमें इन्फॉर्मेंट की सारी डिटेल्स मेंशन होंगी, तो उसके लिए क्या अलग से कॉपी होगी कुछ? क्योंकि उससे तो
इसकी जानकारी नहीं है यार। वैसे मुझे लगता है कि वो जो सब्सटेंस ऑफ द इंफॉर्मेशन है वो मिलेगा, और क्योंकि इन्फॉर्मेंट कौन है उसका कॉलम अलग होता है FIR की कॉपी में, तो उसका आप देख लेना प्रोसीजर में क्या होता है। ठीक है,
ओके,
ठीक है जी, ठीक है। हाँ, अब नाउ is it clear to you number of copies? Then we'll move on to the next thing.
Yes sir.
हाँ, ये preliminary aspect एक clear हो गए। Now coming to this 154(3). 154 subsection 3 provides a remedy to the informant if his or her information is not registered by the police officer in charge of the police station. So in case you are an aggrieved person, or you become an aggrieved person because your information FIR was not registered, then subsection 3 provides a remedy to this problem. Now it starts with the problem and then it will continue to tell you the solution. So problem क्या लिखी है 154(3) में? Any person aggrieved by a refusal on the part of an officer in charge of a police station to record the information referred to in subsection 1. अब आगे लिखा हुआ है आप ऐसा कर सकते हो। अगर आपके साथ ऐसा हुआ है तो आप ऐसा कर सकते हो। That aggrieved person may send the substance of such information in writing and by post to the SP concerned, who, if satisfied that such information discloses the commission of cognizable offense, shall either investigate the case himself, ऐसा तो कभी होगा नहीं practical circumstances में, but he will surely direct the police officer in charge of the police station. ये subordinate वाला भी नहीं होगा most of the time. What he will do, he will direct the police officer in charge of the police station having jurisdiction कि भाई आप इसमें FIR रजिस्टर करके और अन्वेषण शुरू करो, इन्वेस्टिगेशन शुरू करो। ठीक है जी, So do not go into what the SSP would do. The legal question that is addressed by, or legal issue that is addressed by subsection 3 is, what if police officer in charge of police station refuses to register my FIR? Refuses to register my FIR. There are other remedies as well that we will discuss with the help of a case law given in your study material, Sakiri Vasu versus State. Sakiri Vasu versus State. Now coming to the next issue. Third, please check on third as well, subsection 3 as well. And that is how we are done with the text of the 154, text of section 154. Now coming to next subtopic under FIR. Please go through this slide. It's a slide on kinds of FIR on the basis of two types of classification. One is kinds of FIR on the basis of jurisdiction of police station, जो मैं पहले discuss करूँगा. Then I will discuss with you kinds of FIR on the basis of informant, or on the basis of if the informant is police itself, or if the direction to register an FIR is coming from the court. So please go through this slide once, and then I'll briefly tell you the crux of this slide. Please ignore my pet. So now let's discuss this briefly. And one concept in kinds of FIR is very important. You should be aware about it. That is zero FIR. So if you talk about kinds of FIR on the basis of jurisdiction of a police station, your classification ka basis is jurisdiction of a police station. Then there are two kinds of FIR: jurisdictional FIR and free jurisdictional FIR. Jurisdictional FIR shall be registered by a police station having a jurisdiction to investigate the crime reported. Or free jurisdictional FIR is also popularly known as zero FIR. Both FIRs के लिए relevant provision is 154, but one is lodged by or registered by the police station having no jurisdiction to investigate the case. Other is lodged by the police station having a jurisdiction to investigate the case. So this concept of zero FIR is very important to bring into the notice of state machinery, criminal justice machinery, a commission of a cognizable offense. It is very important. A police should also give due consideration to this idea of zero FIR. They should not brush it aside कि भाई ऐसे ही है, इसको इसके बारे में क्या ज्यादा वो करना है, इंपॉर्टेंस देनी है. In case a crime is, for example, take a situation, take this situation. You suppose I am the father of a daughter and a crime is committed against my daughter and she is residing in village and I am doing job in Delhi. And I should be given sufficient leeway to report that crime as soon as it is possible to the nearest police station, जो भी मेरे आसपास पुलिस स्टेशन है. And that I can do under the concept of zero FIR. Zero FIR can be registered by any police station if that information discloses the commission of a cognizable offense. हाँ, बस उसमें ये इतना होगा, once the FIR has been registered, इसका मतलब you have brought in the cognizable offense, commission of into the system, criminal justice system, and now that police officer in charge of the police station who have registered the zero FIR shall forward that FIR to the competent police station, or police station having jurisdiction. Now, why the name zero FIR? The reason being, the serial number for a non-jurisdictional FIR shall always be zero. That is why we popularly know it as zero FIR. क्योंकि general सिचुएशन में क्या होता है, वेयर यू आर फाइलिंग एन FIR इन अ पुलिस स्टेशन हैविंग जुरिसडिक्शन, देन एवरी ईयर दे विल स्टार्ट विद फॉर एग्जांपल नंबर 1. तो जो पहली FIR दर्ज होगी FIR बुक में उसका नंबर हो जाएगा 1/2021. जो दूसरी होगी उसका नंबर हो जाएगा 2/2021. सो दैट पुलिस could maintain a clear and credible record of number of FIRs registered in a particular year. Because it is a non-jurisdictional FIR, तो जो भी पुलिस स्टेशन इसको लॉन्च करेगा FIR बुक में उसका नंबर 0 डाल देगा, क्योंकि उसको फिर उस FIR को फॉरवर्ड करना है टू द कॉम्पिटेंट पुलिस स्टेशन हैविंग जुरिसडिक्शन. उसको उसमें आगे खुद से इन्वेस्टिगेशन नहीं करना है. ठीक है जी. Now you can give some illustration or examples of registration of zero FIR that you may have come across either in popular media or own social media platform, or you have heard or read about such incidents of zero FIR. So floor is open for you. You may talk about such incidents where a zero FIR has been filed. And as far as first kind is concerned, first classification is concerned on the basis of informant. So FIR could be filed by victim, FIR could be filed by accused himself, FIR could be filed by the third person. आपको accused के सामने मैंने क्वेश्चन मार्क लगा रखा है, क्योंकि उसको you have to understand by giving some examples. For example, after committing a crime, your moral conscience became so disturbed that you end up reporting the crime to the police officer in charge of the police station yourself. I did this. Or you could not handle the consequence of the commission of a crime. You can go to the police station, report it, because it is the first information given to the police officer in charge of the police station relating to a cognizable offense that would ultimately become FIR. ठीक है जी. तो ये वाला 157 I have told you, suo motu cognizance by court can also order the officer in charge to register an FIR. Even High Court can order under 482, and under 156(3) magistrate can order the police officer in charge of the police station to register an FIR. So these are kinds of FIR on the basis of informant. नीचे वाले kinds of FIR on the basis of jurisdiction. So we will stop here and continue our discussion tomorrow. अगर आपकी क्लास नहीं है तो I can continue this discussion थोड़ा बहुत और. अगर आपकी क्लास है then I'll stop. क्लास है ना आप लोगों की इसके बाद शेड्यूल्ड?
Yes, sir.
ठीक है. So we will talk about it tomorrow. कल मैं कुछ issues बताऊंगा आपको FIR से related. I think you will find those issues very interesting.
सर ये कोर्ट के नीचे 482 के बगल में आपने HC लिखा था, वो क्या है? हाई कोर्ट?
हाँ हाई कोर्ट. हाँ 482 में जो ऑर्डर आएगा वो हाई कोर्ट से आएगा. ठीक है जी.
ओके.
क्वेश्चन था सर एक कल या फिर आज.
अगर इफ यू कुड वेट फॉर अ व्हाइल मैं अटेंडेंस ले लूं फिर पूछ लेना.
यस सर. नो प्रॉब्लम.
बबीता प्लीज टॉक टू गुरप्रीत रिगार्डिंग फ्राइडेज लेक्चर. जतिन ज्योति प्रेजेंट. पारुल सीतू प्रेजेंट. साक्षी प्रेजेंट. दिव्यांशु प्रेजेंट. शंभू प्रेजेंट. निर्मल यश. ऐशा. कांशा प्रेजेंट. प्रभात प्रेजेंट. अरुण. नीरज. विवेक. सौम्या. समीर. नीरज प्रेजेंट. सौम्या प्रेजेंट. गोविंद जी, दुष्यंत, गोविंद जी, दुष्यंत, गोविंद जी प्रेजेंट, दुष्यंत प्रेजेंट, शुभम, अनुपम, उदित, अनुपम प्रेजेंट, उदित, वैभव, आलोक, अमित, पल्लवी, अमरजीत, बबीता, अमरजीत प्रेजेंट, पल्लवी प्रेजेंट, बबीता प्रेजेंट, प्रवीण, विशाल, संचित, गुरप्रीत, संचित प्रेजेंट, गुरप्रीत प्रेजेंट, रितेश, अंकित, रितेश, अंकित, रितेश एब्सेंट, अंकित प्रेजेंट, सुमित प्रेजेंट, सुमित प्रेजेंट, अंकित प्रेजेंट, चंदन, योगेश, निशा, रवि, निशा, रवि, रवि प्रेजेंट, अभिषेक, सरोज, सचिन, सरोज प्रेजेंट, सचिन, विजेता, मयंक, सूरज, विजेता, मयंक, सूरज, स्वप्निल, भरत, आदर्श, मनोज, महेश,